When my son was born with a heart defect 6 years ago, we had met a lot of other families who had a need for early detection of congenital heart defects. So although I had worked on that effort with some other moms and dads through that time, it wasn't until Jen Ebersole of the American Heart Association found me, and together we approached Representative Boback about possibly being the person to champion these efforts and move it further into legislation. First and foremost, she's a mom. So I think having that connection with someone and, having them recognize just how important it is to do anything for your child is what's most important. That's ultimately what stood out to us. But obviously, she's great at what she does, and we knew she can get the job done as well. Jack was born with a congenital heart defect 6 years ago. Prior to that, my best friend's daughter was born with multiple congenital heart defects about 12 years ago. Through both of those situations, we had different experiences, but ultimately came to realize that it was something that could be detected early on and maybe hopefully someday even prevented. So with the prevalence of it being as great as it is today, we recognized that we kind of needed to do everything to share our story, to increase awareness, and to help other families like our own. So it was an effort that we became involved with pretty early on, but with the families that we've met since then and the people that we've met, it's something that we just continue to do, share our story and increase awareness. He was selected as the child chair for the American Heart Association in our county and in neighboring counties a couple of years ago. And since then, he's continued along with us. He's considered a face of hope for congenital heart defects. And as long as he'll continue to be interested in it, we allow, we have him share his story and come with us for these sorts of things so people can see him and see how far he's come, and that kind of be a little bit of a light of hope for other families that might be going through the same thing. The American Heart Association. So many families have reached out to me just with the connection that I made with them, and they're more than willing to put people in touch with other advocates like myself so we can share stories and connect and hopefully give them a little glimmer of hope. The pulse ox test is a simple, non-invasive tool that's used to detect critical congenital heart defects. If you have ever been to a doctor's office or a hospital, you've probably had a pulse ox yourself. It's on an adult. It's a clip that's just put on your finger. It has a little red light, and it measures oxygen saturations in the blood. It differs a little bit on a newborn. It's a Band-Aid type of probe that's placed on the finger and the toe, and it measures oxygen saturation levels. The test itself probably takes anywhere from about a minute to 2 minutes. Can obviously easily be repeated if it doesn't go right the first time, and is very imperative in finding what the oxygen saturation levels are and what may ultimately indicate a critical congenital heart defect.